Hello, hello. Welcome, Steph Pinto. So lovely
Hi.
to see you. And I'll be honest. The reason I called you is because I wanted to connect with you and have a chat with you. And I just love chatting with you. And it's been a long time. So it's really lovely to have you join us. Thank you so much for everyone watching. Steph Pinto is an amazing parent coach. I don't see her as my competition at all because I love her too much. And we have different markets, wouldn't you say, Steph? You've got younger kids, and I've got the older kids, the teens, and the post-teens. And really, it's the energy that people resonate with. So we do similar things, and differently we add our own flavor into it. We're both about emotional intelligence, we're both about emotional resilience, and we're both about building it in parents as we build strategies and apply them to our kids, because we cannot give what we don't have. So in the work that we both, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is what I do, and I understand you that you do similarly, is we build the strategies with the parents so that they can support their kids in the best possible way, and so they don't feel they end up with, or they come away from working with you or I feeling more equipped, feeling that much more confident and trusting themselves in a greater way. So I absolutely love that you have joined us. I know we do a lot of things together, and it really is telling the world there's no competition. It is energy, it's resonance. Some parents work will find that you suit them for their needs, and some parents will feel that I do, and that's what we're about. That's why we are so open, and we share this work, and we love supporting. It's about the parents, and we're all about getting the parents out of the trials and the hardships that they can be going through. And what better time now, because there's so much happening at the moment. Steph, if you'd like to share what's happening with lockdown. You're in Sydney, I'm in Melbourne. Melbourne's announced another couple of weeks of lockdown, and we don't know how much more we're going to go. And parents are saying, how much more can I take? What's going on? And what we are here to say, be the calm in the midst of the storm, because you can't control the storm, but you can control you, which is what my program is, chaos to calm. So we're we're getting parents aligned into becoming the calm in the midst of the storms that life will inevitably throw at you, because that's where trust comes from. That's where that confidence comes from. That's where you give your child a parent that trusts themselves and is confident in themselves. There is nothing that is so more chaotic in a child's life when their parent doesn't have their shit together. So, what are you giving your child? Your child needs you to support them. You are the tower of their support. So for us to be that calm in the midst of the storm is my perspective of what our parenting journey is about. And I'd love for you to share with my audience, Steph, a little bit about you, and how can we bring this what tips can you share around really bringing that peace in lockdown, homeschooling? Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your kids. Tell us about your world in lockdown in Sydney.
I would love to, and thank you so much for having me on. I can't get my words out. It has been a long time since we've chatted, and we are so aligned. Like you said, we're so attuned, we're on the same wavelength with helping parents, knowing that ripple effect will just go out to the kids. There's very little we actually need to do with the kids. And that's the space where I came from. So if I weave in a bit of my background, I used to be a speech pathologist, and I worked with kids and families for 10 years in, communication, language development and things like that. But I realized it was actually really kind of scratching the surface to just work with the child for an hour a week or an hour a fortnight, depending on our service delivery model, and then send them back to the home or the family or the classroom. And then they would be in the environment and the culture in the family who were not using the strategies or changing their way of being or anything. So we're so on the same page with creating that calm in us and modeling the emotional intelligence and the resilience and the skills and things that we would like our kids to have, because we are their biggest teachers. They are learning from us all the time, even when they don't realize it, or if we don't realize it, we're modeling to them. And if we, like you said, if we don't have our shit together, then we are adding fuel to the fire. And so in this time, like you said, you know, with the lockdown, I think we've just entered, I feel like it's week 11 of lockdown, because it began right at the start of the school holidays. And so my kids are 4 and 7, so they are still much littler than your two girls. And I guess that's my comfort zone. I used to work with kids from like infant to toddler to primary school, and not so much the high school. So I know that is not my zone. That's not my area. And I refer people to you because I'm like, well, you know, you're that expert in that area. But coming back to the lockdown and gosh, homeschooling and things like that, there is the potential, I think, for us and our kids to really just get lost in that cyclone of uncertainty and, you know, the homeschooling work every day, Monday to Friday, and potentially us, if we're a parent who has working from home or you know, being an essential worker, things like that, it can be a bit of a jumble and a mix. So if we let ourselves, I think, into that cyclone of uncertainty and stress, then that's a disservice not only to us, but our kids. Because like you said, we need to be that grounded, centered parent who has our stuff together. You know, we know roughly our routine.
Say it, Steph, have our shit together.
Have our shit together. And it's real, you know. We have moments and days where things are really tough, and we think, oh my God, that was a hectic day, you know, where there were some big emotions there. But I think if we
what you're saying, Steph, is there's a lot going against us right now. That it's easier to fall into the chaos trap.
Yeah.
There's not just what's happening around us, extended lockdowns and our kids struggling with their emotions, kids struggling with social anxiety. There's also the collective consciousness that I say we shouldn't shut our eye to it. It's very powerful. And unless and until we are conscious and choose not to buy into it, and we do that with, and I'll wait for you to share your tips, but my strong one is watch your thoughts. Our thoughts are powerful. Mm-hmm. Anxiety is keeping us safe. It's there for a purpose. Accept it and move past it. Using affirmation statements is powerful too. This time right now is, in the past, it was survival of the fittest and survival of those who could have food, shelter, and all of that. Right now, we are in a time, in my perspective, of survival of the fittest of mind. Our mind is what is being called upon. It's because our mind determines our energy. Our thoughts are what lead us to feel the emotions that we feel, which then leads us to take the action. So are we either going into panic? Are we choosing calm, consciously choosing calm, consciously choosing to question our thoughts, becoming curious about where is this pattern? Am I choosing it, or am I just being dragged into it? So, sorry, I just wanted to interrupt there and just really wanted to emphasize. So parents watching in the room, please share with us, what is your biggest anxiety right now? So we can help you, support you, flip that thought on its head, because your thoughts are so powerful around what's happening right now. Your kids are depending on the way you are choosing to think. Let's just bring it back to basics. Mm-hmm. What you're willing to give into is what is affecting your kids, your environment. And parents determine the environment in the home. Moms are so powerful. They are energy batteries in our home. And if our energy is running down, save our kids and our partners. So not to put too much pressure, but it's a good thing, because as we resonate at higher energies, as we make new choices, our kids and our family benefit, and in turn then we have the double impact of that positive energy coming back at us. Make your home that bubble of positivity despite the storms. And I'll let you take that away. Apologies for cutting you in.
Oh, please do not ever apologize, because every time I speak to you, I learn something more and something new. And our work, again, it just complements each other's work, because I don't know if you noticed, but as you were speaking, I was like, yes. It fits in so beautifully, I think. Being resilient, having emotional intelligence, and managing those anxieties. So for us as parents, but also our kids, if they're not already outwardly saying things that show you they have anxiety, it may well be bubbling under the surface because of that uncertainty, and they're missing friends, and there's the change in workload and doing it at home instead of in the classroom where there's no little distractions. So another part of my work is that I'm an accredited anxiety therapist. So I work with kids and their parents to help them overcome anxiety in a beautiful program that, I draw on a lot in my emotional intelligence coaching work, because, as you said, anxious behaviors begin with anxious thoughts. So it's, the model that I use is a cognitive behavior therapy. It's CBT. So it's understanding that there are those cognitions there that are fueling. So they're worried thoughts or stressful thoughts, which fuel and create worried emotions, stressful emotions. And that in turn shows up in our behavior. So we actually might see our kids being defiant or rude or aggressive or angry, but underneath that is anxiety. So just to be aware that that is what's happening with our kids and with us, and to have the space or the presence of mind to be able to acknowledge and accept that, be attuned to your kids, so that you can tell, whoa, today looks like, you're having a tough morning already. This is a lot for you. And I can see you're, this is hard for you to manage. And rather than just jumping at, don't be so snappy. I just got you your toast and now you've said it's on the wrong plate. Or, rather than just kind of just biting back and getting upset or frustrated and whipping your kids into line, thinking, what is going on underneath there? What's under the iceberg? What's driving that behavior, the snappiness or the rudeness or the, I don't want to do my work, I hate it. There's something driving that emotion and those thoughts and those feelings. There always is. So looking at that and addressing that, acknowledging and having the conversation with your kids that, yeah, this is a tough time. We're all kind of thrown into the washing machine and everything's going upside down. And to bring it back to what you said, Yolanda, being that calm as much as you can, regardless of the stuff that is going on in the world outside, on the news, in the collective. Like, there's a lot of worry and fear. But if we can separate ourselves mentally through meditation or affirmations, or just having that mindful moment. I do it with my coffee. I know it sounds really lame and it's a very cliche thing, but when I make a coffee, I'm like, this is my first coffee of the day. Yeah. I get excited because I think I smell it. It's only an espresso pod machine, but I see it drip, and then I'm like, I take a breath and my shoulders drop, and I think, you know what? We'll get through maybe 75% of the schoolwork today, and that's pretty good. Like, just giving ourselves that space,
Be kind to ourselves. Be kind to ourselves. Allow ourselves time for us, me time for self-reflection. In the morning, when you wake up, I encourage my parents to sit with yourself, tune into your body, what's coming up. Because in the morning, we've just woken up from rest, and the emotions that are dominant are asking for space. If we don't do this as a ritual, I love to call it a ritual. If we're not doing this, and you can do this with your cup of tea, sitting out in the grass, or just sitting in your balcony, if it depends on how you live, but coming out into nature, connecting and checking in, what's coming up? No judgment. Take that judgment hat off. Breathing into your body, staying in tune. It's just that beautiful little practice. Once you do, you're not carrying that like a pressure cooker in your interactions with your kids, in the supermarkets, as you watch the news. as you're interacting with your partner, work colleagues. So powerful to just allow 5 minutes. That's all it takes for your day to flow. And like you said, it's okay. 75% of our schoolwork might be done. So 60%, that's all right.
Yeah.
Being okay in this moment, because when we do, man, that 70% is way up there at 95. Why? And not that we're doing it for that, we're doing it because it's bringing back ease. And in my work, I talk about the effect on our cellular level. The cells in the body, as you feel stress, as you feel strain, as you feel anxiety, on a cellular level, our cells are constricted. So there's so much research out there, so many tests. When I ran workshops in person, I would do these tests with parents so they could see how their body is responding to their thoughts. And as you choose consciously to be calm, space for yourself, breathe in and out of stressful areas in your body, emotion is held in the body. And if you allow yourself time to connect with your body and release and allow for the cells to be just filled with oxygen just for a few moments, you are doing that's it, Steph. You are doing your family, yourself, your world. You add to that collective. That peace in the world that everyone's seeking starts with us. And this is how it starts. This calm that we're seeking for everybody else around starts with us, starts with our families. Such powerful little tools. And discipline, I was speaking to a client this morning, discipline equals freedom. I work with students, with year 13 students, and helping them with workload. And he was surprised that, oh my God, I didn't realize that. I thought discipline was taking away from freedom. But discipline gives us freedom. The more disciplined we are, the more freedom we have to be, do, and have what we want to and what we are being created for. When we're not disciplined is when you find that you have less freedom to be and do who you are. So discipline equals freedom. So these small disciplines, if we can bring it into our day-to-day life, such a powerful tool, but it's so simple that parents go, oh, it's just that. That's not what I want. I want to hear something really big. It's that simple, doing it consistently.
Yeah, beautiful. I think it is. It's really simple, small changes and tweaks, bringing that calm back in, having that discipline for you, having the routine or some kind of routine and structure loosely throughout the day for your kids, rather than, no, we'll do it whenever, like that. That's chaos. So those are some beautiful little simple things that make all the difference.
Exactly. Could you share with us what you're doing with your kids and the age of your kids, Steph?
Yes, yep. So they're 4 and 7. So I've only got one in school. The other's preschool aged. She likes to have activities that are similar to my oldest. So I print off dot to dot and colouring in and things like that. But we have a loose routine, a loose structure. Breakfast in the morning and a bit of play, not on devices for us in the morning. And then we do schoolwork. It probably takes 2-3 hours, and we have mini breaks in between activities so that just like a brain break, and we go outside on the trampoline. I get to do bits of work and things like that. So it's not that we have every hour structured, because that can be pressure to think, oh my God, we're running late on the schedule. But having a loose routine in terms of anxiety for kids who might have that, we know that anxious kids thrive in having a set routine that is predictable. That means they have some consistency, they don't have the uncertainty, and they can predict what is coming. That feels safe to them. That's almost like a boundary that contains that anxiety. So for my kids, we have a rough routine. In the afternoon, we get to do something fun or go to the park across the road. We've got a 5-kilometer limit, so we can't go anywhere. We're finding all the
Just
parks.
wanted to highlight fun, Steph. When all the stress is happening around, fun.
Yeah.
Something that you see as fun, something that your kids see as fun. For us at lunchtime during lockdown, we put out a picnic mat in the backyard. It's either under the pergola if it's raining and cold, or it's out on the grass if it's sunny, but it's our fun thing to do. And we get creative into what we can bring onto the picnic mat. Of course, we haven't cooked anything. We've all been busy working. And we put out some music. My daughter brings out pillows, but it's that time she looks forward to. So bringing fun into your lockdown routine, so crucial. Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I would say that that's the last sort of part of it is bringing that fun in the afternoon, doing something enjoyable that lets you have maybe a bit of breather time. The kids are playing, for us, they're on the scooters or the bikes, or we go to a park. So yeah, letting that steam off and finishing the bulk of the work for the day. I'm usually on my computer and seeing clients and things here and there, but it's just, yeah, I love that. Bring that fun back in, and don't forget to inject moments of joy, simple little moments. It can be, I heard of the phrase a little while ago, time confetti. And it's just little, even if you have 10 minutes here, utilize them. Don't think, oh, I've only got 10 minutes, can't do anything. Actually, you can do something. You can go for a walk. You can find some flowers outside. You can do an coloring in book for adults. Like, you can do things in small windows. So leverage that time.
Lovely. Also wanted to add, what's your language? What are you saying when you're on the phone with friends, when you are speaking to your partner? The language you use with your kids, watch the language. There's energy behind the words that we use, because the words that we use come from thoughts in the mind. So catch yourself. If you're going into a negative spin, stop and say, how can I flip that around? I think that's a powerful tip for parents as well, because that's their words, their thoughts determine the action and energy in their home.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful language. Be conscious of your language. Use conscious language. Yeah, be intentional. Definitely.
Yeah. Lovely. All right. So we planned on doing something, doing a meetup, Steph, on the 21st of September. So those parents watching, if you're watching now, if you're watching later, you have the opportunity to grab a free ticket to come to this event. Steph and I will be sharing lots more tips and going into supporting parents on this meetup. So put in the link, give us a thumbs up, or share with us, or just say homeschooling tips. And that's what we're going to be covering, homeschooling tips. What do you think parents can go away with after this meetup? Steph, I know I put you in the spot there, but yeah.
That's fine. I think they will find lots of small tips, tricks, and tools and things like that, like we've just been talking about, little tweaks and changes that can make a world of difference. And I think just walk away with a little bit more clarity and confidence and a bit more calm for potentially another few weeks or so of lockdown. So I would love you all to come along, grab a free ticket, like Yolanda said, join the conversation, because it's your home, it's your life, it's your kids, and there is so much you can do. So see you there.
And I'll be covering on older kids going through significant exams. So how to support. Here in Melbourne, it's year 12 exams. In the UK, it's year 13 exams. How to keep our kids focused, because they can easily fall into the procrastination trap, because there's not that supervision there. There's not that structure there. They're having to create that themselves, working from home with the resources that they have and the environment that they're in. So how do we get our emotions to drive us? Because procrastination comes from emotional blocks. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to share with the parents joining us on our meetup how to break through those blocks and really support our kids and bring them into that supportive environment, so they are drawn into the ease and flow of creating structure and feeling driven and motivated towards doing their best. Doing, like you said, it doesn't have to be a 90% ADA. Let it be a 75%. Once we make it okay with where we are at, anything is possible. We are tapped into unlimited potential. And that's the goal, and that's the ease we want to bring into our kids and support them from that space. So I look forward to seeing you guys. If anyone's interested, or all of the parents interested, put in the comment section free ticket. How about that? Put their free ticket and we will connect with you and give you a free ticket to come and join us. Ask us a question, even if you're watching it later. Put a question in the comment section. Steph will come in and respond. Myself, I will do the same, because we are here to support you through this very challenging time and bring that calm in the midst of the storms that are inevitable. Any last words, Steph?
Thank you so much for having me. And like you said, I would love parents to come along to that in a couple of weeks' time, because there it sometimes does seem like we are in such a chaotic time, but that can be going on out there. And when you're in your home with your kids, which we are a lot of the time, we're home with them, this can be a bubble of calm and groundedness. And we have the power as the captains of the ship, the parents, we can do that. So join us.
Join us. Thanks for joining us this morning. Bye.
Bye.